You're now watching Q News, and here are the top stories for this hour. Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman Majid Al-Ansari has announced that negotiations on the Gaza agreement are nearing completion, with unresolved details mainly tied to its implementation. Speaking at a press conference, he confirmed that drafts have been shared with both sides, urging an agreement to end the tragedy in Gaza. He highlighted Egypt, Qatar, and the United States' commitment to ensuring the ceasefire's success and overcoming prior obstacles. Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has criticized the current Gaza deal, calling it a surrender to Hamas. Ben-Gvir claimed that his party previously blocked such deals but lost leverage as new government members now support it. He urged Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich to leave the government if the deal proceeds, proposing joint opposition. Israel's deputy foreign minister has said that Israel is hoping for good news in the next few hours on a ceasefire deal with Hamas. Sharon Haskell has said that talks are taking place with the delegations from all parties in Qatar. However, a deal has not yet been reached, and there are a number of obstacles that could still scupper the talks in Qatar. U.S. President Joe Biden has said that Israel-Hamas captive and ceasefire talks are on the brink of finally coming to fruition. Biden's comments came as he delivered his final foreign policy speech as president. Biden's Middle East advisor, Brett McGurk, is in the Middle East to try and complete an elusive captive and ceasefire deal before Biden's presidency comes to an end. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that progress has been made in the Israel-Hamas captive and ceasefire talks. Sullivan said that he believes that the time is ripe to get a deal and to have it close. This comes as officials say that the United States and Arab mediators made significant progress overnight towards brokering a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war and the release of captives held on the Gaza Strip, although a deal has not yet been reached. The Israeli occupation forces have detained at least 35 people, including former detainees and siblings, in the occupied West Bank during the last 24 hours. The Detainees and Ex-Detainees Commission and the Palestinian Prisoners Society, known as the PPS, said in a joint statement that the detention operations were concentrated in the cities of Nablus, Salfit, Jenin, Tulkarm, and Al Khalil, accompanied by widespread raids and abuse, assaults, and threats. The PPS and the Commission affirmed that the total number of Palestinians detained in the occupied West Bank since October the 7th has risen to over 11,000. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam has pledged to rebuild destroyed villages and prioritize economic recovery. In his first press conference from Ba'abda Palace, he rejected exclusionary politics, advocating unity and national partnership. Salam emphasized extending state authority across Lebanon and fulfilling the UN Resolution 1701. He committed to justice for the 2020 Beirut port explosion victims and envisioned a unified Lebanon for all citizens, calling for cooperation to strengthen national institutions. French President Emmanuel Macron is anticipated to arrive in Beirut this Friday. The visit comes amid ongoing political developments in Lebanon, including the recent appointment of Nawaf Salam as Prime Minister designate and heightened discussions about the country's economic and political reforms. In Syria, the Interior Ministry has imposed a curfew in Douma, effective this morning until further notice. Military operations began a security sweep of the city in the outskirts of Damascus. According to the Syrian news agency, the General Security Directorate, in collaboration with the Military Operations Directorate, launched combing operations in Jabla. This follows multiple incidents and attacks targeting military outposts and civilians in the area. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has stated that Moscow will assess U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's peace initiatives on Ukraine once he assumes office. Speaking about 2024's diplomatic outcomes, Lavrov accused the United States of using sanctions against rivals and pushing Europe and Ukraine to target Russia's energy infrastructure. And this concludes our top stories for this hour. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates here on Qnews.